Hey, all I gotta say is thank you, Biden, for raiding Trump's Mar-a-Lago. Way to go, buddy. I mean, that's the way to do it, man. Show them what you got. Okay, that's all I can say, man. Do it again and do it again. Might as well raid them all. I mean, just go for it. It is incredible how fucking stupid of a man you are. You have no idea what you have. Everything you touch and everything you do just goes to hell. Afghanistan. I mean, the you just passed all these bills. I mean, inflation, gasoline, food. I mean, nothing. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the hell you've done that benefits America. But then again, there are many of us that understand what you're doing, and everything you're doing is done on purpose. You're not stupid. You are purposely destroying the Republic of the United States. That's your job. That's what you were put there for. And you're doing a damn good job. But the problem you got is this: we're Americans. And in the end, you lose. I tell you, I mean, you putting the FBI, sicking them on Trump is the same degree, to the same degree of stupidity as when Hillary Clinton called us deplorables. Okay. Actually, it's a much higher degree. But I'm going to tell you something. What you've done is going to wake up a lot of people, not just conservatives, libertarians, pro life, pro freedom, pro America, America first, etc. But you're going to wake up. This is going to wake up a lot of Americans that would be on the left, you know, so to speak, liberals, but not all the way on the left. In other words, on the left, you've got Antifa, Black Lives Matter, communist Marxist groups that are part of the liberal agenda. But the majority of Democrats are not in that left wing under no circumstances. They're moderate. And they have seen that the Democrat Party has turned into a Marxist communist state whereby they want to destroy this country. They hate this country. They hate its success. They hate. I mean, I can't find anything that the Democrats love about this country. Now, I'm an American. I'm living currently in Medellin, Colombia. So I guess you'd say an expat, but I'm getting ready to go back to the U.S. And all I see, because I'm watching the politics, the news all the time, is the intense, rabid hatred that the Democratic Party on the left, from the middle to the left, have towards this country. That they want to destroy it completely. Now, there's some things about that I'm going to explain, and that is this. If this country was ever able to go far left, communist Marxists, let me tell you something. For you leftist liberals, it's not good news at all. If you look at the history of Hitler, Mayo, and all those dictators that killed multi millions of people in order to retain power, have power, continue to have power, some to this day, do you realize that all those dictators like Hitler, when Hitler finally took control, do you realize that his top echelon of people, that the majority of them, he had them murdered because they were the biggest threat to his power, not the German people. So when if this thing was ever to get to that extreme in the United States, which naturally would bring upon civil war, but if it ever got to that extent which civil war occurred, and then the American people lost, and this country became a what happened in Cambodia with I can't remember the name, of the that murdered millions of Cambodians, and the same thing in China, etc. Do you realize that you Black Lives Matter and Antifa and so on, and all these organizations of Soros that are there to try to put a fascist, Marxist, communist regime in power. Do you realize that you're going to be the first ones they're going to put a bullet in your head? I mean, how stupid are you? I mean, well, come on, they're quite stupid. I mean, look at you elected for a president through, cheating, corrupt elections. But the point is, look who you got. You got this idiot, Joey Biden, who can hardly, who walks and doesn't even know where he's going. He's got to be told where not told, but he's got to be led to the bathroom because he's trying to find the doorknob. Where's the doorknob? And so on. So, this Mar-a-Lago is going to go down in total failure. We know that this whole issue is trying to indict Trump on something so that he cannot hold political office ever again in his life. It's not going to work. You've already gone through the Mueller investigation, 2 impeachments. You got New York's attorney general and other states, I think, if I'm not mistaken, trying to indict him, etc. And everything has failed. And this is going to fail also. This is going to fail. But let me tell you something. The next step I see is this, and and that is the only thing that won't fail is Trump gets assassinated. Let me tell you something. That'd be your biggest mistake. We, the American people, would come out in full force and all hell breaks loose. There's no question about that. Now, Trump, we know is very, very well protected, et cetera, and all that kind of stuff. But in a sense, you could say it only takes one bullet to get it done, and that's it. Bullet in the right place here in the head, like they did to Kennedy, and that's it. He'd be a dead man, so to speak. But all hell would then result, etc. And then now if Biden ever, let's forget Trump doesn't get assassinated, but what's coming economically here could fuel potential riots. And now with this thing that just passed in Congress here, 2 days ago, etc. Oh, it's not going to bring inflation. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I see gasoline shooting up at least 50%. What's it? $4 a gallon. It's going to go to six. California is already hitting six, seven, $8 in California and areas. I mean, food's going to shoot through the roof. Everything fuel. This, yeah, all I can say is for people living in the north of the United States, let's say Chicago, New York City, you better move freaking south. But you know what? If you move south, like many are, and leaving California and New York, et cetera, to come to Florida, especially, do me a favor, keep your politics and your liberal shit, get rid of it and come to become a conservative freedom fighter, a true patriot, an America lover. Okay, because if you come into Florida just and then bring your shit and you want to elect now Democrats in Florida to basically do to Florida what you have done as the voters in New York and California, oh my goodness, then what's the purpose? So just think of that in mind. But anyway, at least the good news is that a lot of the people that are moving to Florida from the north, or let's say from the blue states, they are now signing up to be Republicans and voting in the red. Okay, and so that's nice. So anyway, what this thing about Mar-a-Lago is just such a good thing because it's going to wake up, especially liberal Democrats, moderate, etc., and they're going to see that Biden is a freaking dictator. There's no question about that, man. And he's one that, I mean, he's got dementia. He's got cognitive problems. I mean, if he was my father and he wasn't present, just a regular guy down, next door neighbor, he would already have been placed in a home for the elderly, etc. There's no question about that. I mean, the guy needs help. He can't be left alone. I wonder how many times he's gotten out of the wherever he lives in New Jersey and started walking around the neighborhood, driving the Secret Service insane. I can imagine that's happened, but boy, they keep that quiet. But we go from there. So anyway, All I can say is, if what Biden just did with the FBI on Mar-a-Lago doesn't wake you up, that you're in trouble as a liberal, that the country's in trouble, that it's going Marxist, etc. And now and now come that meme that they sent out in which Biden is there with the German eagle, the Nazi symbol. Oh my goodness, that was put out by his administration. Hey, listen, guys, they're letting you know what's coming. They're letting you know. And well, I'm planning on going back to the States, etc. But believe me, I am not taking a knee to nothing. I'm not that kind of person. I will not take a knee, period. And I do intend on living in Florida. Okay. I love what DeSantis just did with firing that district attorney, whatever. And I think a lot of red states should start doing the same thing to attorneys within them that are not following their oath and all that. They need to be fired, fire them left and right. Okay, send them up to the blue states. Okay, uh, we go from there. All right. Well, anyway, so Biden, thank you again because you have now. I mean, already you've got a red wave coming in November. I'm definitely voting. I voted in 2016, first time in my life. Voted in 2020, etc. We know you stole the election, no question about that, under any circumstances. And and I believe what you just did is going to empower a lot more people to come out and vote, including Republicans who maybe had decided to stay back and not vote. You know, a lot of Republicans, they vote in the presidential and then they don't vote in the midterms. Okay, oh, this is going to bring them out. This is going to bring them out, and this is going to bring out a lot of moderate liberals to vote red because now they're starting to wake up. This shit can happen to you and will happen to you. I mean, you know, the IRS, they just put the what, 87,000 IRS agents. Hey, listen, that's KGB, folks. If you don't understand that's KGB, okay? And they're going to arm them, etc. Hey, you think those are there for who? They're there for you. They're there for me. And one thing's for sure, they're armed. So my next suggestion, my next recommendation is you have something, we have something in the United States that all other countries around the world that I can think of, with the exception of Switzerland, okay, don't have, and that is a Second Amendment. I'm not sure how many countries have a Second Amendment. Again, in Switzerland, I know that every citizen is required to be armed. Okay, it is actually they become the Switzerland Army, if you can say that, and they've never been invaded, etc. And I'll just before I close, during the Second World War, Japan did not invade the U.S. Our country. They didn't come in through California, Washington, Oregon. They didn't. And one of the generals stated, one of the highest generals of the Japanese military stated, the reason we didn't do it was because we knew that if we did, there would be a gun, a rifle behind every petal of grass if we invaded the United States. And why? Because we have a Second Amendment. Okay. So all I can say is, if you're not armed, you haven't taken the benefit of being armed for self-protection and for protecting the republic. You better go buy your freaking arms and plenty of ammo. You need to do it right away because this shit ain't over. And if you're not ready, well, all I can say is you'll regret it big time. So anyway, hope you listen to this. Have a good one.